Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Because I did not go live today, I am making this post. The topic today is about partnership. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I'm at work and I'm outside. I'm near a highway, so if it's hard to hear me, I'm sorry. Partnership. Relationships are important to the Most High. Relationships with Him and relationships with one another. The way we deal with one another, the way we interact with the Most High, the way we interact with ourselves is all very important to the universe also. I mean, think about how your energy is when you are around certain people, and think about how good it feels to squash a beef that you have with someone or resolve something that needed a resolution for an extended amount of time, or even if it's a short amount of time. Just think about the relief that you feel when you get to mend broken pieces of important relationships. That's just one example. But to take it a step further, when you think about your relationship with God, the Most High, Allah, whatever you refer to the Supreme Creator as, building that relationship with Him not only makes you a better person for yourself, but it makes you better to deal with. It makes you more understanding and empathetic of the people that you interact with on a daily basis. The most important thing from my observations and from what I have learned and what guidance I was given by the Most High and the angels, is to be consistent with working on the relationship with God. I think we went over that already. Just really being serious about getting to know God and understanding what it is that God needs you to do, and that can only be discovered through building a relationship. Most times we fall short. We're human. That's normal. It'll happen. But it's really important to know yourself, right? And knowing yourself comes with having a relationship with yourself. Fasting, meditating, praying are some of the most important ways to open yourself up to yourself and to the world around you. A lot of us, we really, really know ourselves, but we don't know ourselves on deeper levels to the point to where it will allow us to navigate the relationships with everyone, especially with the Most High. The more you learn yourself, that is learning God, because He made you, He created you. So if you work on yourself, that is essentially the first step to getting closer to God. At one point or the other, you will start to notice, a lot of things. It's just God, to simply put it. I could use a lot of words, but just to simply put it, working on yourself is the gateway, is the main key to getting closer to God. What is it that you need to work on? What's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? Where do you fall short? What are the things you like to do? What are your hobbies? These are all keys. It's information about you. And when you get to cultivate those things, be it making them stronger or balancing out whatever it is that needs to be worked on, it makes it a lot easier to really, really get closer to God. This is also with the angels, also, with your ancestors. And I would like to say that your ancestors and your angels are not always one and the same. Sometimes you have angels that are not your direct ancestors, that are not your direct bloodline. We kind of went over that, meeting someone and creating a child with them automatically makes their angels your angels, right? Whether it be good or bad. Your guides, they're guided to you via the combination of the DNA sequence that's been formed, right? Those combinations unlocks certain codes for everyone attached to those bloodlines. So if you might see like, oh, this person's doing good, and then ever since this person went to college, all of the kids in the family have been going to college. Things like that. Ever since this person stopped smoking, that person stopped drinking, and that person started going back to school, and that person changed. They're no longer angry and upset. They're not promiscuous anymore. They're nicer to people. They no longer have an attitude. So it's all connected. The relationship with the Most High is very important. I'm sorry that I'm late. I apologize. I had a rough start this morning. I apologize for the highway, but I actually thought that this was a good time to do it, just so you guys can hear a live background. It is a podcast. We do move around. We don't just sit still in one spot. But I would definitely say I appreciate everyone who has been tuning in and listening and coming through for information. If you ever wanted to call, my number is posted on my Instagram, on my Facebook. If you Google, you can actually find it. It'll come up. So it's lots of ways, we can get this thing rolling, right? Another thing I wanted to actually bring up is the importance of building your children through this process, because what'll happen is the things that you are working on will become obvious and apparent, to everyone around you, and who better to teach skills that are allowing you to get closer to God than your children. I mean, that would be the first people that you would teach these skills to. Not everyone is gonna be in the same pace. Sometimes we're gonna make mistakes. We're human. Again, not everything's gonna be perfect or the way we plan it. The only thing we can do is be obedient, and sometimes when we are obedient, hopefully the lessons that we get from disobedience will teach us and bear us to the path and make us stronger and better in our spirits, in our physical bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, in our tongues, in our hands, and in our feet. A lot of the times we have our own idea of what it is that we should be doing, but sometimes it's a lot more simple. Life can be simple if we are obedient. When you are not obedient, your life becomes more challenging than it has to be. So one thing I will say is the Most High has a plan for us all. And no matter what it is that we need to do, if we don't do it, it won't get done. And those responsibilities and duties will trickle down to the next generation. So if something was placed on you, placed in your spirit by the Most High, it's important to get it done, because it's your mission is not just about you. Everything you do affects everyone around you, whether you are physically near them or not. Especially when you are connected through them, through genetics, through your DNA, through your bloodline. It's a vibration. It's all connected. It's a link, and you don't want to be the weakest one, right? You don't want to be the weakest link. You want to be a link that can teach and mold those coming after you and those that are paying attention, because sometimes we don't even realize that we're being monitored by the younger ones coming up. And they're looking at us, and they're not looking at what you see. They're looking at what it is that you do. So, if you don't take anything away, take away building the relationships, building yourself. All of those things lead to God in His glory and what it is that He has planned for us all collectively. Yes, we are all on different timelines, so no, it's not gonna always come together the way we think and the way we thought, but it does come together in its own timing, and none of those things are in our control per se. I mean, like I said, you could be disobedient and get whatever it is that you get. I'm sure whatever the Most High has for us is way better than anything we could ever have for ourselves. So with that said, it would behoove you to be obedient and just really, really tap in and build. At this point, life is pretty much about you and your willingness to gain whatever it is that the Most High said you should be gaining while you're here, whatever it is you should be inheriting, whether it be spiritually or physically. Riches are not always, financial. Your spirit can be very rich. And I'm assuming that comes from having a solid relationship with the Most High. Again, because this timeline is so different and because it is all over the place, but it is still so intricately made, my advice to you would be to really, really, really learn to just focus on what it is that you are being guided to do in your spirit. Those are your ancestors and your spirit guides speaking, on behalf of the Most High and relaying the messages that He's been trying to give you. We all have different journeys. We all have different missions. We all have different ways of going about doing things. So I don't really have advice. I'm not consulting anyone. I'm not a consultant right now in this moment to be in a position to tell someone what it is that they should or should not be doing. That's not my job or my title right now. This is just an open podcast. But spiritually speaking, I would say that this journey of life is your journey. You were given this vessel and this spirit by the Creator for a reason, and it is your job to assume that it is for a reason, and you will want to find out what it is. No job is too big or too small, and too much is given, much is required. So when you have that understood, it'll be easier to go ahead and begin embarking on the journey that really, really places you where the High wants you to be and not where you want to be. And sometimes it's really uncomfortable, trust me, because sometimes it's like inverse, it's two different directions, coming from two different directions, but hopefully it'll be going and leading to the same direction. No matter if you planned it or not, hopefully your steps are guided towards what it is that the Most High wants for you. And trust me, if He wants His way, He's gonna have His way. And if He wants you to veer off and learn lessons that'll be necessary for your physical, spiritual, and mental health and growth, that shall be. He is the supreme. He is the highest of all highs, the creator of all creations, and He does whatever He pleases, right? So yeah, get with him because He has a lot of information that's going to be useful for you. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. We're coming into 15 minutes. I have to go, but I really do love you guys. I hope you enjoyed your Sunday and your weekend and that you will have a good week. Peace and blessings to you all. Much love. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.